Students, now we come to the fourth lecture of this week, Module 8. Today's class will be on the topic of work capacity. It will address upon the issues like stress and fatigue in work and the factors affecting the physical work capacity. Stress and fatigue are words used in a variety of ways by ergonomists. Sometimes they are used to refer to temporary states of parts of the body. On the other times, they are used to refer to chronic states of the whole person. In both senses, stress arising out of work demands causes fatigue when work capacity is exceeded. In food service, stress can be temporary, that is, leg pain from standing, wrist pain from chopping, or chronic pains, that is, fatigue from long shifts, irregular breaks, or peak rush hour pressures. Stress in the food service industry can be defined as the workload that employees are expected to perform. Employees multitask by taking the orders, cooking, serving, and cleaning during peak hours like lunch or dinner rush. Is there, and then once the stress is removed, the workers can handle the workload and recover from those situations after those rush hours are over. However, if there is a elastic limit and is crossed by the employees, or if it is extended, then there is an overworked kind of situation, and for example, by working lengthy double shifts, because of the experiencing the staff shortages, or experiencing the continuous peak loads, or under the severe stress, this results in the persistent strain in the form of burnout, fatigue, or diminishing performances. The human body can only withstand limited stress. Stress in food institutes can originate from one, activities or tasks in form of amount of effort required for an activity, and two, posture, that is the way the body is positioned. Employees who stand in awkward positions for extended periods of time, like bending while cutting, experience postural tensions, and physically demanding jobs like carrying heavy tray, needing huge quantities of dough, can cause the task stress. Both of these pressures can work independently, or they can act together. Many of these problems can be avoided by ergonomic measures, including rearranging workstations, modifying counter heights, etc. According to Hans Selye's General Adaptation Syndrome, popularly known as GAS, the three stages of body's responses to stress are alarm, resistance, and weariness. In food institutions, staff may sense an initial fear during the abrupt rush hours, then progress into resistance as they adapt and manage the jobs. Exhaustion sets in if such pressures persist without relaxation or assistance, which might result in burnout or health problems. Workload is simply one aspect of stress. Another is how employees view and manage it. Then a seasoned chef with excellent problem solving abilities, for example, might see a crowded kitchen as a challenge, whereas a fresh trainee might feel overburdened. in the same situation. The degree of stress in a scenario is significantly influenced by the elements including the confidence, teamwork, and prior experiences. Fatigue in the food service industry can take many different forms. Employees who work long shifts or late at night may experience sleep related fatigue, which disrupts their regular body cycles. Mental fatigue arises when the employees perform the same activities repeatedly for extended periods of time, such as taking orders or slicing vegetables, while physical fatigue occurs after prolonged understanding, rushing at peak service hours, or lifting heavy goods. Even when mentally tired from one task, workers may still enjoy other activities that refresh them. In hectic food service settings, controlling employee weariness is critical to preserving the productivity, security, and employee well-being. Then staff members that exhibit decreased speed and lack of focus show frequently signs of this weariness, from minor fatigue to complete exhaustion. Fatigue is defined as a varying, unpleasant sensation because it impacts the entire body. It is more difficult to work effectively. In reality, it implies that even while a cook or server may continue to attend to tables or finish dishwashing, the duties may feel more difficult and require more efforts. This eventually lowers the output and raises the possibility of mistakes or mishaps. Jobs in the food service industry include both static and dynamic tasks. When muscles remain engaged for extended periods of time without much movement, such as when holding a heavy tray, standing at a counter, or maintaining a instance for slicing the vegetables, then it is known as the static work, and fatigue may develop rapidly as a result of the muscles receiving the less blood supply. Pressure on the soft tissues frequently causes the discomfort because it lowers the blood flow and the oxygen deliveries, which causes the pain. When the muscles deplete their energy reserves, such as glucose or glycogen, fatigue sets in, making the task feel more difficult. Conversely, the dynamic work entails constant movement with alternating muscle contraction and relaxation. Examples of this type of work include walking between the tables, kneading dough, stirring meals, and lifting and placing of the objects. Although the blood flow and oxygen consumption are improved, energy from glucose, fatty acids, and glycogen is still needed. Everyday course involves both the types of the work. Conversely, dynamic work entails constant movement with alternating muscle contraction and relaxation. Examples of this type of work include walking between the tables, kneading doughs, stirring meals, and lifting and placing of the objects. Although blood flow and oxygen consumption are improved, energy from glucose, fatty acids, and glycogen is still needed. Everyday course involves both types of work, and striking a balance between them helps avoid these stress and fatigue. Discomfort arises when pressure reduces blood flow and oxygen, and fatigue occurs when the muscles use up the energy stores. Nearly 40% of the bodily tissues um, uh, is made up of skeletal muscles, which are vital for the posture, mobility, and joint protection. Employees in the food service establishments frequently perform the strenuous or repetitive jobs, including cutting, lifting, stirring big batches, or standing for extended periods of time. Muscle soreness and exhaustion may result from these exercises, resulting in there are little rest periods and much fatigue increases. This muscular fatigues also increases when there is a likelihood of accidents also, like sprains and strains, because it impairs the muscles capacity to support the joints and absorb the stress. Food service employment must take into account these appropriate work rest cycles, reasonable work durations, and increased workforce levels through ergonomic gear and team assistance in order to avoid this. Long periods of standing, repeated chopping, carrying the heavy trays, or uncomfortable leaning and cooking positions, they all can cause the discomfort in these food service occupations. Electromyography (EMG) can be used to measure the muscle exhaustion that these exercises frequently cause, and ergonomics in food service organization uses these EMGs in conjunction with employees feedback, that is the body maps, pain maps, or questionnaires, to pinpoint the high risk occupations like carrying the loads or steering for extended periods of time. To lessen the strain and avoid chronic injuries, this aids in work redesign, break rescheduling, and the introduction of ergonomic equipments. Workers in food service establishments, such as the cooks, servers, and cleaners, they carry out duties that need different amounts of energy. Physical work capacity represents the additional energy that can generate for the jobs, whereas the basal metabolic rate BMR is the bare minimum of the energy required to maintain the body functions. For example, moving heavy trays or cleaning floors uses more energy than standing and chopping vegetables, which adds a moderate amount to the BMR. The body functions on oxygen based energy production. Because the majority of the food service jobs require the constant moderate labor. Therefore, effective oxygen intake and distributions are essential for maintaining the work performance and minimizing the weariness. Employees in food services establishment frequently work non-stop during the busy times. They need constant stamina and energy. Similar to athletes, their performance is influenced by the body's ability to eliminate the metabolic waste products like lactate, in addition to oxygen consumption. Muscle fatigue and decreased performance results from waste accumulation. Workers may work long shifts without becoming exhausted. Thanks to this effective aerobic capacity and thermal regulation and the use of the fat as fuel. The body's capacity to handle tiredness and sustains the consistent energy level during the rigorous service hours can be enhanced by training, frequent breaks and healthy diets. Both environmental and physical factors affects the food service employees capacity to do task effectively. Energy and stamina are directly impacted by physical characteristics such as age, body weights, lifestyles and diet. A cook who is active and well trained will be able to handle long hours in the kitchen better than someone who is not so fit. Then the environmental factors are also very important. Exposure to smoke, excessive heat in the kitchen, and inadequate ventilation can all reduce the productivity and add to tiredness. Keeping these variables under control promotes employee well being, productivity, and service excellence. Age and body weights have a significant impact on the physical labor capacity. When performing physically demanding duties like carrying heavy trays, climbing stairs, or standing for extended hours in the hot kitchens, the employees in food services who are bigger and have greater body fat percentages may become fatigued more rapidly because their use of oxygen is more as compared to the leaner people who can do better in the same situation. Age also has a significant impact because 20 years of joining after 20 years of joining, work capacity starts to decrease, and by 60 aerobic capacity is roughly 70% of that it was at the age of 25 years. So this is due to decrease in the cardiac efficiency and muscle strength. To be productive and avoid weariness, senior employees in the food service industry, they should attend to fewer responsibilities, or they should take long breaks, or they should work on their physical health to increase their working capacity. Because women often have lower amount of oxygen utilization during the intense work, higher body fat and less hemoglobin than men, gender can affect the physical labor capacity many times. Then this implies that during demanding activities their hearts must pump more blood to provide the same amount of oxygen. Although there is a lot of performance overlap between men and women, women also typically have less upper body strength. This implies that women may find it more difficult to perform certain heavy lifting or extended jobs, demanding jobs in the food services. However, employment tasks should be assigned based on the skills and capabilities rather than the gender alone, as crucial ability differs from person to person and their actual skills are also varied. So, in the food service industry, efficiency, expertise, and coordination are more important than the physical strength for many jobs, such as for peeling, chopping, rolling of chapatis, etc. As the carbon monoxide in smoke binds strongly to hemoglobin, decreasing the oxygen delivery in the blood, smoking lowers one's physical work capabilities. Additionally, it introduces the dangerous substances that weakens the general health and stamina, and destroys the lungs capacity. This can result in increased fatigue, a higher risk of sickness, and decreased endurance during the lengthy shifts at food services establishments. Similar hazards apply to the non-smokers who are exposed to the second-hand smoke in such situations. Then the regular training increases this productivity. Exercises increase VO2 max, and job specific training enables the employees to do activities more securely and effectively. Strength training, for example, can lessen the strain associated with moving bulky kitchenwares, and endurance during the training times, and keeping the employees moving throughout the extended shifts is used for this endurance training. And then additionally, the skill based training improves the performance, lowers the errors, and avoids the injuries. Maintaining the physical labor capacity requires eating a balanced diet. Fatigue and increased health risks can result from they can result from the poor nutrition, and particularly the diets heavy in saturated fats, which can also restrict the arteries, raise cholesterol, and impair the heart and muscle functions. For extended periods of standing, lifting, and fast paced service, employees in the food service establishments depends the on their own endurance and quick energy replenishments, where the poor eating habits and malnutrition can weaken the muscles, inhibits their reflexes, and cause the focus problems also. A healthy diet promotes endurance, avoids extra body fat, which reduces the aerobic capacity and maintains the productive performance all day long. A worker's physical performance and efficiency are greatly influenced by their motivation. Motivated employees are more likely to handle peak hours well, maintain high energy levels throughout lengthy shifts, and provide high quality service at food service establishments. Both extrinsic, such as the air compensation, recognition, and well organized work, and internal aspects like personal objectives, professional aspirations, and a sense of accomplishment are the variables that can serve as the source of motivation for the worker. So, the piece rate or performance based pay, for instance, this may promote the quicker service, but if not properly managed, they may also raise the risk of strains and accidents. Then the productivity and employees well-being, they are both increased when the incentives, acknowledgements, and the safe work practices are balanced. Food service establishments environment elements include like noise and air quality. They can have a big impact on the employees' productivity. Smoke, cooking smells, and urban pollution can all contribute to the poor air, which can diminish endurance, for the jobs involving the kitchen or serving customers by increasing the respiratory resistance, then decreasing the oxygen delivery and gradually damaging of the lungs takes place. Then the performance may be hampered by the carbon monoxide from combustion processes, which can further decrease the oxygen transmission. Especially during the busy service hours, excessive noise from the blenders, dining rooms, or kitchen appliances can increase the stress, heart rate, and decrease the productivity. To keep employees healthy and productive, proper ventilation, air filtration, and noise management are crucial phenomena. Because decreased oxygen pressure reduces the functional VO2 max, high altitude can limit the prolonged labor capacity. Employee weariness may occur more quickly during the extended shifts or peak service hours in the food service establishments situated at high elevators. Short, high intensity activities that need less oxygen, such as rapidly shifting ingredients or raising a tray, are less impacted. Although adaptation can take place over a few weeks or submaximal endurance is tested over 3000 meters, and at times maximum muscular work capacity begins to decrease above 1500 meters. Efficiency can be maintained by creating the work schedules and following the acclimatizations. Work capacity in food service settings may be impacted by protective gears and attires also. Wearing bulky aprons, gloves, or heat resistant equipments might limit the ability, make lifting, carrying trays, or providing around the kitchens less efficient elements, and make the lengthy shifts more exhausting are the reasons for this. And then the heat trapping clothing like layered uniforms or non-breathable textile use can increase the heart rate also and hasten the fatigues. Then the lightweight and breathable protective gear that are ergonomically designed facilitates the employee's performance. Errors and decreased efficiency can result from an excessive workload in food service establishments, such as during busy meal times or understaffed shifts. The employees may react more slowly, do work more slowly, and find it difficult to pick up new skills or menu changes. Then it becomes more difficult to make mistakes repeatedly, and it is more frequently seen that the same mistakes are repeated again and again, and they lose focus also and omit these steps in recipes or service procedures. This may have an impact on the overall kitchen safety and customer satisfaction and food quality. By identifying these indicators, managers can modify the workloads, provide the breaks, and offer assistance to sustain the performances. Staff members may react slowly to last minute menu adjustments or unexpected customer surges due to high labor expectations in the food service industry. They would use equipments improperly first, or concentrate too much on one task while ignoring the others, then the staff members may start to tolerate lower performance standards also, and make more mistakes and take needless actions at times. And early detection of these behaviors enables the managers to reassign the responsibilities, offer assistance, and avert mishaps or service disruptions. The work capacity of employees in food service establishments is determined by physiological restrictions. It is possible to design work, procedures, tasks, and tools to increase productivity, avoid exertions, and lessen the fatigue. Staff stamina can be maintained with easy techniques, including modifying the task time, offering the breaks, and utilizing the ergonomic equipments. Overwhelming workloads without adequate preparation or assistance can result in poor service quality, errors, and slower performance. By putting these tactics into practice, safety, output, and speedy client contentment can be guaranteed. Kitchens and catering services require the repetitive lifting, carrying trays, and extended standing. Even though the physical demands of the food service jobs may not be as high as those of the construction or the forestry, but the staff endurance, cardiovascular capabilities, and the rest periods all affect the work production. Adjustable prep tables, lightweight trolleys, and trays carrying assistance are the examples of the ergonomic solutions that can lessen the physical strain, enhance posture, and extend productive work hours. This reduces the injury risks and related expenses in addition to increasing production. For example, employing the height adjustable workstations for operations like baking, plating, or chopping can increase the productivity and decrease fatigue, enabling the fewer employees to finish the jobs in a comfortable and safe manner. Thank you, students. This was all about the work capacity, fatigue, and performances related to it. In the next class, we will discuss about time and energy management.